Hi, I'm Charlotte Merrill, and this is our So Let's Be Friends podcast. This is a place where everyone belongs, and every story matters. Together, we celebrate our differences, bring awareness to disabilities, and build a more inclusive and supportive world. One conversation at a time, let's open our hearts and listen with kindness.
I like when people ask me about my crutches because they can get to know me, and I like having friends, so let's be friends.
This life is beautiful, and you are wonderful.
Hi, friends, and welcome to So Let's Be Friends, the podcast where we believe that every person belongs and every story matters. Today's episode is really special. I get to talk with two amazing people who helped others every day. My speech therapist and her friend, a physical therapist. They both work with individuals with disabilities, and they believe deeply in inclusion, independence, and hope. Whether you are a parent, teacher, or friend just starting out in the world of advocacy or disability support, this episode is for you. You hear stories, advice, and encouragement from two professionals who have helped so many people find their voice, their strength, and their place in the world. So let's be friends and get started. I hope you enjoyed the second part of me interviewing my speech and physical therapist. What role do speech therapy and physical therapy play helping people live more fully and independent?
I think we just have to also be the advocates for people. We were talking about parents being the advocates, but I think we all have to be advocates, and we have to also not just teach people how to be independent, but teach others around us to help people be independent. So it's not inclusive of just the family or the person or the PT. Like, it is really educating the world on how we can make everyone inclusive.
When you say that, it made me think of Mary again, because she's been a huge tool or a huge family support.
I've heard.
But she drove the distance, and she came up to one of my IEP meetings and showed me how to advocate in a meeting, and showed me how to teach exactly what you said, inclusiveness. So she didn't just leave it to me and guide me what she was doing, and I wasn't getting anywhere. And then part of it was because I was quiet and shy and just listening to all the people that I looked up to in the circle that were the bosses, I felt like. And she showed up and she sat at the table and she helped me gain a voice and taught me how to do that. And
she worked on the accommodations and all that.
She really helped them understand, and her being older and wiser, and when I say that, she'd been doing it longer than I was, and longer than a lot of the others, and was able to share experiences and things, and why we're aiming for inclusion. And it was just, so when you said besides just the parents, I really appreciated when she did that.
And it's our job. That is part of our job, is to educate. And it's not just to do physical therapy.
Right.
And I'm going to say the other thing, it's not just to do physical therapy, it's also to listen to the person that we're working with, because our goals might be different than their goals. And we have to listen. We have to, and some of us, sometimes you listen better than other times. But if we stop and listen I think that is huge.
So, can I add to that too?
Yeah.
Because I'm just having experiences with these, and this lady was sweet and she was kind, but she didn't listen, and she was one of our occupational therapists. She just didn't listen, and my kids were not interested in crafts. And every time she came, she wanted to do a new craft that she had found that she loved doing, and my kids just weren't interested in crafts. Harrison wasn't interested in crafts, and I finally just we tried talking to
I
her
love
about it.
doing crafts, but
She was picking things that didn't interest you, right?
yeah,
That were
Yeah.
kind
but
of boring.
not
Yeah,
every
jewelry
day.
making. Would you do jewelry making? I don't know.
It was just
Whatever.
Yeah.
It's finding what
And
they're
Charlotte was
interested in.
trying to tell her, like, I'm not enjoying this.
Oh.
You know, she was trying to tell her, and
Yeah.
the OT took it personally and said that she was being disrespectful. And I never heard my daughter be disrespectful, so I had to have these conversations and figure out. So I guess as a parent, you need to be aware of what's happening between the therapist and your child, and especially if you recognize that your child's personality is not being the same with them.
Yes.
That was really important, and I had to kind of figure out what was going on, and she felt like Charlotte was being disrespectful because she was not wanting to do the things she was
I
bringing
love
over.
doing crafts, but not every time. And you need to do different things every time, not same thing every time.
Sometimes therapists come in with an agenda, and then it really means being flexible and pivoting
Because
on what their interests are.
they're teaching you just doing crafts.
Right.
And
Can't
she wanted
do
to learn more
anything
about cutting,
others.
how to cut the food. Charlotte was asking her, I want to learn how to make a meal or cut my food, and she just wasn't interested in that because she didn't want to
I'm
cook.
still trying to learn how to make food.
Oh.
So I just really appreciated you
But
saying that,
cutting
to listen,
has
because it was
been
hard
more
for me.
Easier though,
What's more easier?
cutting.
You're learning because she got an adaptive knife that was more of a rocker,
The rocker knife?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So that's the other thing is we have to be. I think we have to just all step out of our boxes
Right.
because again,
There's
I
no boxes, no bubbles.
She says there's no boxes. She says step out and kick it away. She doesn't like boxes
you don't
at
like
all.
the box.
Yeah,
But
I like
that's
that.
true because we have to be out. We have to be.
We have to stretch.
We have to stretch. So
So
I've
I
always
like that.
called
I
myself
like
a
that
Gumby
metaphor.
doll because you have to be flexible
pivot.
cute.
We have to
And
pivot.
because we have to pivot.
Right.
So as a therapist in the schools, I have to coordinate with the administration, with the custodians, with the special teachers. I need to make sure that how I interact in that school allows me to provide what I need to provide for those kids and to be the self-advocate. Because if I put a division between me and the principal because I'm just going to do things my way and if I don't work with people, then I can't be that advocate and I can't.
Because they have to trust you.
They have to trust me, and the other thing, everyone has to trust. And so I've got so much. I can get a lot of things accomplished because I work the system.
Yes.
You know,
I've said that a lot. You have to
you
work
work the
yeah.
system and you make sure everyone feels valued so that at that point in time
Yep.
you can hit your agenda, which might be advocating for the kids.
Yep, and that's why yep, exactly. But that's why I say you value the doctors too, and make sure they feel valued and that you
That you
appreciate their
have
knowledge
to.
when you partner with them. You don't just get upset about things. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I like how you said that.
That's
You gotta
tricky.
value them.
That's a tricky one.
How important is family involvement in the progress you see?
I think we talked
Yeah,
about
the
that.
same
It's
huge.
huge.
And everything
That's
together.
They're
Yes.
part of the team.
We
Yeah.
spent a lot of time
Yeah.
talking on that one.
Yeah, we did.
You
You can't take them out. of
you
that
can't take
equation.
out of the equation, and I think you also again though have to give the family, like if you're working in the home especially, you need to really find out what the goal of the family is too.
Exactly.
It's not just your goal, but what's the goal of the family, and what's the overall vision that people have, and then from there work towards those things, and the parents can then, or the family can then support you better if you guys visions coincide and don't clash.
So I think we're going to be cooking soon.
For speech, doing some cooking.
My wheels are turning.
Oh,
It's language. It's language and
sign
following
language and
directions.
cooking. Yes.
Yeah.
And baking.
Oh, well, yeah,
yes.
we're going to have to start looking at that.
Perfect.
We'll have to-
You guys are gonna have a bakery.
Uh-oh, she just announced it
brown-
to the world.
Oh no.
No, it's okay. It's good. It's good.
What would you say to a parent or a caregiver who feels overwhelmed or unsure of where to start?
I still say, I think you need to get started, but look for people that are going to support you. Really look for that support, because you're going to need it from day one to day thousands, because things are going to change throughout the years. And I think you just have to find people that are going to support you. And I think that's the biggest thing. And it's from, like we talked about, the medical, other families that are going through the same thing, organizations out there that have, parent advocates out there, or people that you can go to that have gone through the same thing. So just never be afraid to ask. There's no stupid question, and you're not alone. And you're not alone.
Right.
And a good place to call, just so people know, is Raising Special Kids of Phoenix.
Yes.
I think that, and you can just even Google that, Raising Special Kids. But I wasn't aware of anything in the beginning. And when I kept being told that my daughter would just grow out of it, and that was all I knew, I was grateful that my support system was my sister, who was becoming a nurse and going through school, and she's like, Anna, she's not going to grow out of it. Everything I'm learning right now, we need to do something. And so she encouraged me to drive down to Phoenix Children's Hospital, and I did. I literally walked in because I didn't know who to call. So when I just went down to visit her, the next time I went over to Phoenix Children's Hospital, basically carried her in, this floppy little lethargic girl at 3-4 years old, and just said, I need help. I don't know what to do. And they started me with a social worker. And then from there, they were able to progress me through, because my primary care doctor that I had at the time up here wasn't sending me to any specialist, wasn't moving me forward. And so my primary care ended up being set up down there. I drove for primary care, everything down to Phoenix. And that's
you're still driving down there.
Yeah, and that's where my support system is.
Where it is. Yeah.
So now with having CRS go away, we've had to revamp all that, and I finally found a primary care doctor up here that we trust, that so far we're doing well with, and I'm very excited. So things have changed 20 years forward.
20 years, but
But you do need to find that support system if it's your sister who knows to just encourage you to go get help.
Right.
And to not just keep thinking the doctor's right, that she's going to grow out of it. So
I can't believe that was me.
that was you. Yep, and now you're
and
standing
look
up
at
straight.
you here right now.
And what did
21 doing a podcast.
Yep. And what did that first doctor? I've told you that story. What did that first doctor tell? So one of the first doctors I ended up getting just turned me sideways. And do you remember what? I've told you that story. I walked in. This was after she was about 5-6 years old, and I was working on teaching her how to crawl.
Is this it?
Remember the doctor said you would never what?
Oh, okay. The
I'm
doctor
gonna
said
word
that
stories.
you will never walk,
Right.
talk, or
Even get married.
even get
They
married.
jumped to that. I had a doctor. I said I got her up on her hands and knees. I was so excited. She was like 4 or 5 years old.
Since I can do that, I'm walking, I'm talking,
And
I
she
can
likes
get
boys.
married.
And you like boys. And you like boys.
But when that doctor went from, I still remember she's like, "Are you not listening to me? Your daughter will never walk, talk, or get married." And when she jumped to get married, I'm like,
this.
how, she has no idea. Somebody might want to marry my daughter in a wheelchair. I was okay with her saying she may never get, because I didn't know the future. I had no idea. I was just excited someone was looking at my kid, knowing there was something wrong now.
Right.
But when she said she'll never get married, like, I don't know why that just, so that's when I picked her up. So then I just went ahead and went to another doctor. I realized I could get another doctor, and just kept moving to a specialist who was willing to work with me. But
And that's probably your best advice to people. If you're not getting the support that you need, you can move. You're not stuck with that person.
Right.
And
There's
again,
a million doctors out there in the world, and I
went
will
through-
understand you.
right, and you need someone to understand you, and no one should ever tell anyone that they are not going to be able to do something, because we don't understand the neurological system. I have seen miraculous things happen from kids that are born with a disability to kids that have like meningitis and now have lost everything and work their way back, and years later things that I was like, I don't know if they're going to be able to do this or not. They're doing it. And so the neurological system is amazing.
It's still
and
repairing.
You have
We see
no clue if or when it will
Right.
ever stop doing it. And I would say it really never does. The fact that you're doing math now, that's part of that memory. That's part of different,
synapsing,
yes,
And a
synapsing
new
in the brain.
language. Math is a language. It's like
And
a new
so
language.
don't
Yeah.
ever tell someone they can't. You might tell them it's going to take a lot of work and we're not sure when it's going to occur.
Tell
But
them your faith. Yeah, go ahead.
don't take away a person's hope.
What's your quote that you love to say that you remind yourself all the time?
Forward is forward no matter the pace.
Yeah, as long as she's
Perfect.
moving forward, she's okay.
I have lots of favorite quotes.
You should be
Yeah.
along the ride with her on PT. That would be a good thing to say to kids that are working on motor or
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
Right?
She reminds
Yes.
herself that all the time.
Yeah. And I think we all have to remind ourselves that.
Yeah, as long as
You
we're
have
making
to
improvement, we're
Yeah.
okay.
As long as we got
1% even is good.
What should families look for in a good therapy team or inclusion or inclusive program?
Go first.
Well, I think we talked a little bit about that. I think it's a multidisciplinary approach. And that means not just one therapist or one expert or one medical person. It should be a team effort, and that's where we come in. We talked about advocating. We have to put in that extra behind the scenes effort if you're a therapist working with a family to make sure that that's happening.
Mhm.
And you're trusting
You're trusting.
the team, you're listening. It's multidisciplinary. I still believe in that. I hope that's what I'm doing still. Even out of the schools, I hope I'm doing that. But it's the family, of course, is included. They're one of the number one. So I think it's just knowing that you need to have it. It's a team effort, and you're not alone. The family's not alone in this. And they can listen and they can gather the information that they receive. Knowledge is power, and then they have to decide what they want to do with it. But it's ultimately the family's decision,
Yeah.
like we talked about.
Yeah, and I do think it's really, to find a good team is you have to find people that you feel comfortable with. Because we become, for a lot of kids, we become the person that you look to help you and guide you. So you have to have that trust. So if a therapist or a team does not give you that, doesn't make you feel like you can trust them, then it's time to find another team. Or doesn't appreciate you and your input on what your needs are and things like that. So it's really becoming almost a marriage.
Yeah.
And we looked at this and when we're all working together for a kid, it's like this marriage, and what type of commitment do you have? And so people have to be committed. And so that's
And,
what I
and
look
one
at.
approach might not fit, like you were saying with one of your therapists, and that's okay.
Right.
Right.
But
But we still
she
kept
may
friends.
not
We-
change,
We
you
still
know.
stayed friends with her because I didn't want to
Oh,
upset
that's
her. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but I had to help her.
But that's kind, and that's understanding that maybe her approach wasn't the right one for you, for the
Yeah.
family,
And
or
we
for
gave her a chance to adjust and try something different, but she was
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
stuck on crafts.
Yeah.
And there's so many different approaches and things that we're trained in, and
Yeah.
people. I mean, there's a lot of specialties in all those areas.
And a lot of different
So-
philosophies.
So, yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
So the philosophy is huge also,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
if you're not on the same philosophy, if someone doesn't believe in inclusion,
Right.
and that's where you want to go, you know that therapist is probably not going to be, or that team member is not going to be good for you and your family, because they're not going to support that. So I think you have to find people that are on the same page as you and can support what that looks like, but also being willing to give you giving you their professional opinions too. So it goes both ways. It's like, we have information to give, and we want to feel like you appreciate that information. You don't have to agree with me. You do not have to agree with me, but appreciate the information I'm giving you, and vice versa. And then if you can come and meet in the middle to all of that, then that's the good team, because
Right.
that means everyone's listening and honoring people's differences
Opinions and thoughts and beliefs. Yeah.
yes.
I like that. That's
For the benefit of the
Yeah.
It's all
client,
for the benefit
student,
of
or
the student
child. Yeah,
and the family.
yeah,
Like,
and the
make sure-
family.
like that.
Right,
So
right.
I have gotten in
No,
trouble a few times.
I was
and
thinking we've sat
lied.
through plenty of meetings. So I'm thinking,
Yeah, that Sherry's got in her trouble because I'm I was always known to be I still am the student advocate, and I didn't agree with some of the rest of my team's decisions because I knew that that's not where the parents were or the child was, and
Well, it sounds like you're also breaking down through a new area of, being inclusive, which is a hard area for some people to understand. They're still
Right.
very much about
yeah.
keeping people separated off and segregated
and
off.
label.
So I do believe in some self-contained classrooms, and because that's what I've grown up with at the district. But that doesn't mean that you don't find areas for inclusion.
Mhm.
So if that's where the child is going to get the best educational
Mhm.
benefit, then that's okay. But it doesn't stop there. So then PE or
Right,
specials
so then it's still
or
inclusive, so
recess.
it's not self-contained. It needs to just be.
The classroom
The
itself,
academics
the academic
are
is
more
self-contained,
yeah.
but then
They have the
the
inclusion
other
model.
they're still included out there with their
Peers.
But I think it
and stuff like
depends
that.
individually. Every child,
Yeah,
is looking
and
at
that's why we
every.
have an IP.
Yeah, exactly.
How can schools or communities work together with therapists like you to create more inclusive space?
Again, I think we need to be the voice, but we also need to go in, just like you said. You can't go in, and I've done this because I'm pretty hard-headed. You can't go in and just ram your ideas or your opinions on. You have to try to go in and help people understand. And that is a learning process for us as therapists, or for pretty much everyone. But I think that's
When you're talking about the schools.
yeah, like schools or even communities. Like if you want a community program, you want to help a community program, you have to you have to first teach them, and then that allows them to work better with us. But you have to try.
A couple things come to mind. One was that you said earlier is you said you've actually gone with some of your clients to their work and helped them adapt at work, like just how to bend up and down and move things around.
Yeah.
So you've helped them at work. And then also another thing I thought of at church, we actually have the chalkboards moved down, so they didn't have to get a stool or a ladder because they were in a wheelchair, and so they could reach the chalkboard and moved it down to where everybody could reach it, including the person in the wheelchair.
Yes.
So kind of things like that going in, and I've been able to help in situations like that for
Yeah.
jobs or schools or just at church or different.
So you're
things.
engineering the environment. Yeah.
Yeah, moving it, adapting it, instead of making them have to have a ramp to get up to the chalkboard.
Right.
Just moving the chalkboard down, everybody can reach it.
Right.
Right.
So,
Moving the soap down in the bathroom
yeah,
so
exactly.
a kid can actually reach the soap.
Right, or the person in the
To wash-
wheelchair. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or little kids.
Little kids. It was in a school, and it was meant to be a junior high, but it became an elementary / junior
And it was
high.
too tall.
And so the soap things were high for junior high kids.
Yeah.
And so kids in wheelchair, even the little preschoolers or kindergartners couldn't reach the soap. So you
have to adapt.
have to adapt. But so I think we have to be educators, and that's how schools and communities can work
Pay
better with us.
attention.
Pay attention is perfect.
Who's coming in?
That's right.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
What has working in the disability community taught you about friendship, strength, or love?
And many people I've met through some of my best friends are therapists. I mean, that's a biggie when it comes to the clients I've worked with. Just watching them grow and progress and show strength and braveness, and I mean, I'm inspired every day. I'm inspired by you, Charlotte. I'm inspired by your siblings, and
Yes.
I mean, that's my inspiration, to watch how you guys are you have, what did we say? We said the grit. We talked about that. We used that word. And I'm trying to think, just being brave and working through and problem solving and getting out there and making friends and being social, right? I mean, those are all the things I could talk about myself as the friendships I've made and the love that I've witnessed, but then watching my client, you know, there's so much to that.
Well, last night it was exciting to me. Sorry, you're just going to
Yeah,
talk.
no, go.
I was just saying it was exciting to me that I was in a meeting with a doctor, just helping somebody else, actually mentoring another mother. And a mother
Yeah.
sitting next to me on a Zoom with a doctor last night. And it just came, we were talking about my children, what they've gone through with the doctor. And Charlotte, it is exactly what you said. Charlotte came up to me, sat next to me, and said, "Can I interrupt for a minute?" And I was like, "Okay, yeah, if it's important." And she just said, "Can I go out tonight to a single adult activity to go hang out with some friends?" And that to me was such a stamp of all the stuff we've done with speech therapy, physical therapy.
Yeah.
These are the things
Yeah.
I love the
I
interaction.
know.
I love that my young adult was able to ask to go out and do things with
Yeah.
friends. And that's been my goal. That was my trophy.
Mhm.
And it was just neat to be able to be mentoring this mother next to me, the doctor that has helped me for the last 10 to 12 years on the Zoom, and my daughter interrupting so she could go have fun and do
Did
all
you
the
share,
things.
were you able to share that, or was it
Kind of, not really, because it was about the mother at
It
the
was
moment.
about the mom, yeah.
But that was, this
Yeah.
is the first I got to share that moment, but it was really
Aw.
exciting for me, and that was a trophy mom moment for me,
Right.
that my daughter was leaving the house without my help. A friend was picking her up and they were going off to go have a good time. I'm not even sure what you guys did last night, because I haven't got a chance to talk to you about it, but you came back so excited and had fun. But what did you guys do last night?
We did line dancing.
Oh, that's up my alley. I love to dance.
And were you able to do line dancing? That's pretty physical.
Kinda.
That's
a lot of
movement.
footwork.
A lot of footwork, a lot of balancing.
How'd you do?
Fast
Yeah.
Fast
Yeah.
movement. Did you fall at all?
There was a couple of moments where I was gonna fall.
You
Lost
needed
your
a
balance?
David Spade.
Yeah.
I got you.
That's awesome. That is actually
I'm
how
never gonna
David
forget
Spade
that.
caught her
I'm
one
not
day.
gonna
We'll have to
forget
tell
that.
that story another time.
So, like,
Did anyone catch you last night while you were dancing, or how did you not fall? You caught your own balance?
yeah.
Good. And that's all practice from physical therapy, right?
Yeah.
So
like,
that was huge
dance-
kudos
Yeah.
to therapies and therapists who
Aw.
helped her to get this far. So that's what that was.
Yeah.
I'm so proud every time when I losing my balance. Like, oh no, I'm gonna get hurt today, but nope.
She
Yeah.
catches herself.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
You're pretty brave.
Or there's sometimes when I trip fully off the concrete, the sidewalk, and totally like miracle. There's a lot of miracles.
She falls
Like-
a lot, but she's learning to get her balance and catch herself and get the processing is starting to happen
Like,
that she didn't have before.
That's great.
I can't remember the last time my major fall.
Her major fall was about just over a year ago or so, right? She was running on the track without crutches, and she crashed so hard, and she's had over 12 sets of stitches on her face.
Oh my
But-
gosh.
But what happened this time? Normally she face plants because she doesn't process quick enough to get her hands out.
Okay,
Protective expense.
it's
Yeah,
an
Sherry.
amazing, incredible moment in my life. Won't forget it. Like, I'm in a college play, and that time I was in our town of North and Pioneer College play, and I was gonna perform that night, and also on that day I was doing a track with the Special Olympics, and I ran, and usually I land on my face when I fall, like, and
And it's usually an ER visit.
And
it's
then-
usually
I was
a
gonna say.
concussion.
and then after I fell, well, during when I was falling, I was thinking quickly in my head, like, oh no, I will miss the play.
Oh.
And yeah.
What happened? Where did your
Well,
hands?
that will go away. But you know what? When I fell, I actually caught myself with my hands.
She caught herself with her hands, which has never happened
Oh
in
my gosh.
19, 20 years. She's never. Every time she's fallen, it has been a serious injury, and she caught herself with her hands. And I remember running over there, and her hands were on the ground, and she was looking up with tears because it hurt, and there's blood everywhere. But she said, I caught myself, and she was laughing, and she was biggest smiles ever that she caught
Laughing,
herself.
crying, the whole bit,
She
right?
was in pain, but she didn't care. Her face was
You were
okay,
so
and she didn't.
Yeah, I
excited.
was in so much pain, but
Aw.
but the whole thing after I fell and found my hands all bloody and my knees
Yeah.
got bloody too.
Yeah.
Not my face. I was so happy, like no hospital, nothing. Like
But her
I
face
was able to
Aw.
perform.
I was gonna say you saved your face for the performance.
Yeah. She was
For a
so,
lot of things. And
but that was the first time she processed
And
touching herself with
a
her.
friend came running up to me and came and helped me up while my mom was busy with something else.
Well, I was coming, but I was on the other side of the track,
Oh.
so it
Yeah.
took a bit to get over to her.
But you came over.
Of course I did. But that was a miracle moment, and she'll
Yes.
never forget that.
That's
None of
your
us-
miracle.
The
Your
whole team will
divine
never forget.
intervention.
That's right.
Little
That is
divine-
Yeah.
awesome.
And I
That's
still
a
have
divine.
a scar on my hand.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
But not on your face.
I'm glad
Save the face.
I'm glad it wasn't my face because it probably would have been stitches and bloody everywhere and
Yeah,
would
we've had
not
that
be
happen.
able to perform. But I was able to perform and do everything else that I planned on doing,
She did amazing.
but with in pain.
She powered through. All right, let's finish up the last questions. Go ahead, number.
That really got me.
It really got me too. You made all of us cry. Why do you believe?
Why do you believe inclusion is something everyone, not just professionals, should care about?
Well, I think we all need inclusion, and it's not just for disabilities. I think inclusion, it takes on a whole different meaning. It really is about including everyone and allowing everyone to do what they want to do and things like that. So it doesn't start and end with just disability inclusion. It really is about including everyone, no matter what it is. I don't know. I think, I think we need to love and care and want everyone to feel a part of a community, a part of a family, a part of a school, whatever it is. And to me, that's inclusion. It's not just inclusion at the school level for kids with disabilities or inclusion in the workforce with people that have challenges. We all need to feel included.
And that's what she says on this podcast a lot. Love one another. It's everybody.
It is everyone.
Everyone happier and
inclusion.
healthier. Nobody's left out.
Yeah, inclusion really spans a bigger.
No,
Under-
exclusion.
No
Yeah.
exclusion. No exclusion. It doesn't matter.
Perfect.
If you could share one piece of hope or advice with our listeners today, what would it be?
The biggest piece of advice is hope. There's limitations. We put limitations on ourselves, but I think with help we can figure out how to make everyone loved and appreciated. And I think we have to have value for people. So don't stop fighting for whoever, your child, a person, an adult. I mean, we talk about children right now because that's, you know, where you guys are at, where you're at right now. But I also look at elderly people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's a lot of, you know, a lot of elderly people now struggle, and we're trying to figure out what the care looks like for them. So, but I just feel like you have to stay hopeful and persistent on doing the best you can do for the people around you and your community. I don't know.
That's beautifully said.
I don't know if I can top that. I think love and kindness come to mind, especially in our world right now. But I agree with you on the, you know, inclusion for everyone. This compassion, I think compassion is
We mentioned grace earlier too.
grace. And often we
Grace.
all have to look up that word and define it,
Mm-hmm.
whatever it means to you, but it's grace is big.
I like it because we all have our struggles.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is that we beat ourselves up a lot.
Mm-hmm.
That we did or did not do what we should have done when we should have done it. You know, could I have got her help before because
Oh, yeah.
of the doctors? But the thing is that we have to give ourselves that grace and say we're doing the best we can. And I want to say for parents especially out there, give yourself grace. There's lots of challenges. Find people that are going to support you, and or other, I think I could say parents, caregivers. Like I just caregave for my mom. You know, she lived 90 on her own in her own house, and then she needed help after that, and we moved her to Phoenix, and for 4 years there was a lot of caregiving, and I found that I had to give myself grace because I felt like I wasn't doing enough. And I think that made me understand what maybe other people have been feeling that I've been working with for years, is you don't feel like you're doing enough. And I don't
That's
know.
a good point.
So I think we try our best.
I actually took a permanent marker one day. It's been about 5 years ago, and I wrote on my bathroom wall. It just says, "I'm enough. I'm doing enough, and I've done enough." So I don't keep beating myself up, like what you said. Like I should have started earlier with Charlotte, because I do. I keep, I question that all the time. So, I appreciated you saying that. But I had to write that with a permanent marker one
But
day,
it's
just so I
never
could
too
see the
late.
reminder.
We also just reminded
Yeah.
ourselves that they're still making progress. They're developing, even at 21,
Yep.
even at 25, like my client. You know, I mean, it's never say
Everyone's-
never. There's no limitations.
Everyone's learning, like no matter where you are in life.
We're all learning and developing.
We
Yeah. If we stop learning,
We're in trouble.
yeah, we're in trouble.
Yes.
If we all stop learning.
That's right.
Last question.
How can people learn more or connect with therapists like you in their area?
I don't know how I think it just happens because you search out, like I think you can ask people, like if you're looking for a therapist or stuff like that, then look for people that have had good experiences in that. But again, different people are looking for different therapists. Like I'm a great therapist for all these people, but maybe one person we don't connect. So I think you have to find who's going to support you. So
And have your same philosophy.
yeah, so I think you keep looking. If the person you find initially isn't the right person, then you keep looking and you keep going forward, because I feel like I've provided a lot for a lot of families over the years, but I'm not the perfect person for maybe someone.
Right.
So
There's different matches for different people. Some people might like crafts, and that would have worked perfect for their family.
right, but that doesn't mean that therapist, or like if someone doesn't connect, that may not be a bad therapist. It just means that connection
Wasn't a good fit.
that wasn't a
Yeah.
good fit. So I just think for every person, you have to find that fit. You have to find that fit.
Let's try networking, right?
Networking
I think networking is just
huge.
huge for.
And if you don't know how to network, maybe like for Arizona, it's developmental disabilities, DDD.
Yeah.
There's also raising special kids.
That one is a
Your-
perfect site.
Yes, RSK. but also your primary care doctor should have a lot of connections there, and if they don't,
You
maybe
hope.
find a new primary care doctor.
Yeah.
They should have the connections and should know. But I have a lady in Detroit who didn't know where to go, so she reached out to me. So it's
Oh.
okay to reach to other people who are in your
Exactly.
situation. If you know of somebody that's been doing it for a while, don't be afraid to reach out to them, correct? And then, but from there, I was able to reach out to my DDD coordinator, disability coordinator, and then she knew where to find a list for that state online, and then shared it with me, so I was
that's
able to share it with that
great.
mother. So like you said, networking, just
Yeah.
connecting. So don't be afraid to ask
Yes.
just another
questions.
parent,
Yeah.
another mom
Another
or dad, or
parent. Yeah.
So I think that's a good way
Community,
to start how you
church.
said that. And then not everybody fits and connects, and you just gotta find the right fit for your family. So well, thank you. I appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
Well, thank you.
You're
This
welcome.
has been wonderful, very
It
thought-provoking,
was.
and really touches my heart that
It has touched my heart, sharing my stories too.
I know
with-
it is.
With a lot of friends and family that I've been doing the podcast with.
And I think this is so important. When Joanne invited me to come up to meet you guys, I was honored. And then the other thing is when we started reading some questions of what the podcast might look like, it's like it really makes you excited for what the future has to hold. I really think it's so exciting because things have changed a lot in the 34 years
Yes.
that I was just working with peds.
Thank you for sharing your wisdom and hearts.
So
let's be friends.
Yay!
Thank you. That was
Aw.
perfect. Thank you, ladies.
That was fun. You did good.
If you're listening, thank you for being a part of this. We are excited to share more stories and more truth and more love in every episode. Until next time, love one another, and like I say, so let's be friends.